This video is going to show you how to read a defense, basic keys to pick up on, the basic personnel of the defense, and basically how to go through a progression. So I hope that it's helpful. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a 4th and inches play. So we're running a basic slants. That's what I called. Okay, and the reason you run a slants on the short yardage, a great play to pick up just a few yards. It's a good quick play as well in case the defense brings pressure. So the key first is calling the correct play. So short yardage, quick slants play. All right, we feel like we've got the correct play call. So now what you need to do is your pre-snap read. You've come up to the line, you need to look at what the defense is in and identify where the weak points are going to be. Now we can see here, everyone's in the box. I mean, going left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defensive guys are on the line of scrimmage. 7, okay? And then you've got 2 guys right above that, 1 and 2. Those are actually what I believe to be like the safeties. Those are linebackers, but that they're playing the safety role, okay? And they're way up in this box because it's 4th and inches, and they're trying to stop us, right? So now we've got one-on-ones on the outside with our receivers, okay? So right off the bat, you can tell the vulnerable point of this defense is right here, where there's no safeties, where there's just green grass and happiness, right? So coming back, you know now the area that you want to attack on this defense is deep and outside also, because again, everyone's in the box. So you're looking at deep down the field, the sides of the field, that's probably all going to be open. That's your pre-snap read. Okay, and your pre-snap read tells you, okay, the main guys we're probably looking at are these 2 right here in the back and these 2 guys on the very edge. Okay, you want to see if they're going to drop out into coverage, if they're going to blitz after you. Okay, that's all the pre-snap reads. That's everything you're going to look at before you snap the ball. Identify the defense, identify the weak point. Okay, and understand your play call with it. Okay, so we understand we got a slants, we know where the weak points are going to be. Okay, so now it's time to actually read the defense as the play develops. Okay, the first 2 seconds here, all we're going to do, 1 to 2 seconds, and it varies based on the play. But what we're going to be doing is just looking at pressure. So the first 1 to 2 seconds here, we're just looking at the pressure. We're just looking at the offensive line to see what happened, okay? And the reason we're doing this, okay, basically you're watching, let me get in here, this section of the field, okay? This is the area you want to be watching for the first, again, 1 to 2 seconds. And the reason being because you want to make sure that an offensive lineman didn't fall down. You want to make sure that a defensive lineman didn't just straight up beat your offensive lineman, and you also need to see if the linebackers, a safety, if anyone is blitzing down on you and you need to get rid of the ball quickly, okay? So 1001, 1002, you know, roughly, you're just watching, right? So if right off the bat here I get pressure coming into my face, there's gonna be someone open because they're going to have blitzed from somewhere, right? So here, right off the bat, we see no pressure, right? No pressure immediately in the face, 1001, 1002. Okay, now we're beginning to look at our receivers at this point. That whole time before that, you're just looking for pressure to know if you got to get rid of the ball quickly, okay? So now we're looking downfield, and again, we're looking at the key people we needed to identify, which is, again, these kind of core linebackers here, right? So as we watch the play develop, as you're looking up, you saw that they didn't blitz. Again, that's the key in the first 2 seconds, right? You wanted to see if those guys crashed. They didn't. So you immediately see no blitz. I've got protection. So now you're looking at, okay, they didn't blitz. Where did they go? Well, you had 2 guys coming out of the flats, our tight end and our running back here. Whoops, you can see. I'm sorry. we kept one guy blocking. Kelsey came off the line, not from the backfield. Regardless, you got one guy, 87 here, splitting out this way, right? That linebacker, you can see, is going to trail him. He's going into coverage on him, okay? Fucking inverted camera. Okay, now what we're looking at on the other side, look, this guy on the edge here, whoops, this guy on the edge here is going to drop into coverage as well, following Hunt. Okay, so that gets one guy off your back. So basically you're looking at a lot of man coverage here, not a lot of zones. You're not seeing guys trade off. You're seeing everyone chasing a man, right? And basically what you see here too is this guy, right? He doesn't blitz. He drops into the middle there, right? He doesn't blitz you. He just kind of sits, okay? He's the only one working his zone, so he's the guy you got to watch for, right? So as this play develops, no pressure. Now notice I slide to the left here. This isn't necessary. There's no pressure in my face. I did this because look at how wide open this receiver is. I mean, you can see it right off the bat. He has beat his man, right? You could even say, oh, God, inverted camera. This guy, he's got a couple steps on his man too, right? Now the key here, again, is, whoops, where we said the weak points are going to be. Over the top, where both of our slants are going right there, right? And outside. I mean, you can see here, they've dropped into man and have covered up these guys on the side. Right, but they still don't have any help over the top, so they're relying on this man coverage, and they're relying on this guy, this guy, to clog up the middle of the field. Okay, now if there's pressure in my face, this makes it difficult, and he becomes a problem. There's no pressure, so I just wait it out. Look at that. You just wait it out until they completely cross. If you don't have to throw the ball, so we wait. Boom. Look, I mean, there's no one there. I mean, there's nothing but grass in front of him. Daylight, happiness. I mean, this camera. I'll get it eventually, I promise. Okay. The reason I slide to the left here, okay, is to get away from the pocket a little bit. I've got plenty of time, right? And I see that my receiver looks like he's about to break open. I mean, all I got to do is wait for him to fully cross so I don't get picked off by that guy floating in the middle, right? If I throw it here, I probably complete it to him anyway, because that linebacker is holding, over on the left there. I'd be throwing it more here, so I can probably hit it, but I don't like that guy sitting in the middle. I have no pressure on me, so there's no reason to throw it. So what I do is I'm just going to slide to the left. This slide is just so, let's say 73, right there, loses his block, or 76. If one of these guys loses their blocks, and I am still, right here, they only have to take 2 steps before they can sack me. And we all know that you can hold down that button, but you're not going to throw the ball that quickly. So what I do here is just drift off because it looks like my receiver on the right, he looks more open, right? Also, this receiver here is running into this linebacker's zone, right? So I'm just going to slide to the left because I believe that my receiver that's crossing this way to the left is going to come open. So I'm just going to slide with my route, right? That's what I'm doing there. I'm just trying to slide with my route, okay? And I'm giving myself room. So now, when I'm over here, now when 73 or 72 or whoever of my offensive line loses their block, they're 5 to 6 steps away from me. So now I have time to throw the ball instead of getting sacked. Now again, this play there is no pressure, so it's not really a factor. So going back to the play, let's just, from start to finish. First thing, looking for pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Okay, so now we're looking. Again, we saw the linebackers did drop and didn't blitz. That was part of looking for pressure. Now we're looking, where did they go? You see one guy's in the zone in the middle. Everyone else is in man. You see that your guys are coming open. You slide out to give yourself some room. Wait for the route to be open. and make the easy throw. That is a 52-yard touchdown. Easy money. Easy money. Go and watch it at full speed and watch things develop. Okay, right off the bat, looking for pressure. No pressure. Where they all sit in the zones. He's coming open, and there you go. It's easy. Alright, so what we have here is a 3rd and 5 situation. So it's another kind of short distance, okay? But this time, we get a little bit of a different look from a defense, more of a traditional look, okay? So basically, what you're looking at here going into your pre-snap read is, you know, what's the defense in? You see a lot of congestion here. Running basically a 3-4, kind of. You got a lot of guys there. A lot of guys on the defensive line, all your linebackers are close, and you see there is one safety up top, okay? So we have one single high safety, and other than that, it looks like pretty much man coverage on the outside. So when looking at this, it's now to determine where the holes in this defense are going to be. In this defense, the areas that you can attack are probably going to be deep into the outside over here and over here, because you only have the one safety. That safety's going to blitz. He's going to have to pick one side or another to drift to, and if he just stays in the middle, if you're running an out-breaking route, you know, then you'll be able to beat him. So looking at the play, you know that's the area that you can attack. That's the area that's going to be open. And again, you also have to always watch for the blitz, because if there's a blitz, the middle of the field's going to be open because the linebackers will have avoided it. So basically, what happens here, though, is just a really good coverage. Okay, we broke it down earlier. No need to really go over it again. But the first couple seconds, you're looking for protection. You're looking, did anyone fuck up? And then you start looking downfield, and right here, no one's really open. You see the running back comes open right there, but it's too late. Okay, so basically here, you got a guy shallow right there. Right? He's open, I guess. Right in the flat. But do you see how pretty much no one else is? The first, I'm not really looking at the flat. He's not my primary read because he's chipping there, right? He chips that defensive end. Right, I'll zoom in on it. Right there. Gives him a little chip, right? So when I'm trying to make a quick read, which 3rd and 5, you want to be usually quick about it. You see no linebackers come after you, so everyone kind of drops into coverage. 14, you can see there. Whoops. Gets bumped off his route. He gets kind of shoved by that guy into this guy and can't run his route properly. Okay. And right off the bat, one of the routes usually that comes open on this play is the running back, which is 32 on this play. That quick little cut right there. That's usually what gets him open, right here. Because if those linebackers blitz, he's open. But as you see, they did not blitz. They brought a guy right on him. Now, he sits in this zone, right? He's just covering his zone. So once the running back gets out of his zone, he stops, which leaves our linebacker open. But as you can see, at that point, I'm already running for my life. And this comes back to, you got to be aware in the pocket too. You still have to kind of keep your eye on the pocket, especially when you see nothing's open. The other thing we were looking for here, we talked about it. Where's the weakness on this defense? Deep into the outside. Well, look where our guy runs. Deep into the outside. But do you see how well they covered that up? Okay. Do you see how the linebacker shifted out? Okay, you can still complete this pass probably if you throw it about there. And this is what's called the top of the route. You always want to throw at the top of the route whenever they're breaking. So if you throw it here, you're probably not getting picked off. It might be a little bit of a risky throw. You might as well just check it down to the flat at that point, or throw to the running back who's, oops, inverted camera, is coming through in his zone, right? But then you see, this is just a beautiful job, because then you see this guy's going to come down on him, right? So, I mean, your guy in the flat's open. That's about it. And then you kind of finally get this guy. You finally get this guy breaking open. You got a safety up top, so it might be a risky throw, but it looks like you can get it to him. But I picked this play. Oh my god, this camera is kicking my ass. Hold on. All right. I have to take the control freaks off. A little too much. But I picked this play because everything breaks down. There's pretty good coverage. Like I said, there's a couple moments in the play where guys start to break open, right? But just the traditional rush breaks free, right? We chip him. We even chipped this guy. Jesus Christ, this camera. Okay, we chipped this guy, and he still breaks free. Okay, so he breaks free. And I'm seeing him break free right there, right? What I'm trying to do is start sliding again because I see that 71 is way too close to me. I see even at this point, he's getting pushed back, right? So I begin to start sliding out and see him breaking free and realize, oh shit, and I start just rolling out. That's all this intended to be, was just rolling out at the start. But right here you see this guy now breaks free off of him as well because he didn't know I was changing direction, so he loses his block. Okay, so now at this point, way down the field, we got a guy. Oh my goodness, he's coming open, right? Look at him. He finally breaks open. Okay, but this camera. But the issue is that once that second guy breaks free and these guys are applying chase, I mean, I have to keep running. And this is when you have to look and realize, oh, well, no one is there in front of me. I mean, look at this. Look at all that real estate. You know what I mean? This play broke down because he was able to get off his block, right? He gets chipped, but he's able to get off his block. But I should have already thrown the ball at this point, right? I wanted to get the ball out, but no one's open. Now, as my guy up top is breaking open, you see he would have ended up being covered. Maybe the running back breaks open, he ends up being covered. I mean, this whole side of the field, you got the guy in the flat. That's pretty much all you get. You know what I mean? People break open for half a second. But this is, again, why you don't look for, just a guy who looks open. Because the running back looks open, but, I mean, you have a half a second window to throw to him before he's covered. That's why the guy in the flat is really the only option. But, again, the whole play breaks down. But because everyone dropped into coverage and they did such a good job, when this play does break down, there's nothing. There is nothing to stop me. I mean, at all. And it's just an easy, oh my goodness, little scamper. And at this point, right, I'm just running for the sticks. Right, I just want a first down at this point. Oh my god, this camera. I'm just trying to get the first down, desperately just trying to outrun those guys, and I beat them to the corner, and that's why they're kind of forced to dive there, because I got that corner on them, and then it's just scoop up a little extra yards. You know what I mean? So taking a look at the play again, it's kind of from start to finish. It's pretty simple. Right away, good coverage. Good switching off into zones, and take off and run with it. This is the perfect example of when to run with the quarterback. You're forced to move, forced to run, and then just pick it up. I mean, because if you try and stay motionless in the pocket here, you're getting sacked, and this is a lost play. Maybe you can identify the guy in the flat right there. I could have also done that, right? I could have thrown to the guy in the flat right there. It's such a quick read because the guy in the flat is the last guy I'm looking at. Unless there's a blitz. Well, and actually this is a good play for the blitz because you've got your running back running, this route, which is usually open right when they blitz. So But on a lot of other plays, you know, the flat's my last read. And because I didn't have overwhelming pressure at first, I'm still looking at my guys downfield to determine who's going to come open. But the play breaks down. I mean, just right here, you could try and chuck it down the field. Because this guy does look open down here. Right? He does come open. You do have the safety over top. But you could probably get it to him. Maybe. And you'd have to throw it on the run, just blindly chuck it down the field. You know what I mean? And it's just the perfect time to just run. Keep it on the ground. So, at full speed, you can see the coverage right away. Try and slide away. Okay, I know I said full speed, but just look at how I begin to slide right before he breaks out. That's what saves me from this sack right here. Watch. Those 2 steps right there probably saved me so that I had time to bail out and start running. I mean, he is on my ass. But right off the bat, right there, see, I start sliding before he breaks off that guy because I want a little room, and thank God I got it. And then it just turns into running the ball. All right, I promise. Last time, at full speed, here we go. See everyone's covered. They're trading off into zones. Try and slide. End up running it. See the open field. Make your corner and just pick up the first down. All right. So this play is one of my favorite plays because you can hit it for large chunks of yardage, and I get touchdowns out of it a lot. So this is a corner strikes play. It takes a long time to develop, and it attacks deep into the outside of the defense. Okay, so that's the play I've called. Okay, now the defense we're looking at here is a cover 2 defense. Okay, and god damn it, basically that's just because of the 2 safeties up top over yonder. I hate this fucking camera. The safety up there and the safety up there. Okay, so that's what makes this a cover 2. So what's ironic about this is the strength of a cover 2 is where these safeties are at, up here on the outsides deep. Okay, that's actually where the strength is. The weakness of a cover 2 is right here in the middle of the field. Okay, not necessarily shallow, okay, because you do have linebackers there, but deeper down the field where those safeties aren't sitting, right? Deep down the middle. That's the weakness of a cover 2. Okay, so we understand that. We see we've, we got our 3 corners on our 3 outside guys. Okay, so basically what your pre-snap read is telling you is where we're attacking the defense deep into the outside is where the strength of their defense is because of these safeties, right? So what we're forcing them to do is play to their strength because we have our slot receiver, right, who's going to be working the middle of the field, which is where the weakness of the defense is. Now, if these linebackers decide to drop back into that space, okay, well, that's fine because we've got our running back and our tight end going out into the flats here, right, on each side. So you have your dump offs, you have your short routes, the guys going out into the flats. We're attacking the weakness of the defense, the middle of the field, and we're forcing these safeties to play to their strength and where they're trying to defend on the field deep to the outside, right? So, we've already talked about it. The first few seconds, you're just looking for the pass rush, for the blitz. Now, not that unpredictably, the linebackers kind of dropped out. One of them dropped into coverage. One of them did rush. Okay, so you do have a 5-man rush, but it holds up. But look what's open. The middle of the field. right? The middle of the field is open because those linebackers voided it. One of them rushes. Whoops. You can see here, one of them comes in and rushes, and the other one follows our guy into the flat. But because they didn't... Okay, so because they brought that linebacker, they had to supplement someone for my guy coming to the flat. And this is where you start looking to those safeties. Okay, the safeties become crucial here because we're attacking them, right? They're the strength on the outside. That's where our routes are going. We've got one attack in the middle, obviously, because that's where the weakness is. But we're also, the big play would be coming from the outside, coming from our outside receivers over yonder. Okay, so now when we first take the snap here, what we see is that safety drops, right? This safety up top drops. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want on this play. And here's the reason why. Because now they've left another weak spot on our, where their strength should be. So we'll take a look here at our slot guy, right? And how he's going to work the middle of the field. See how, there's no one there. He's got man coverage, sure, but there's no one in the middle of this field here, right? Now, and if you look up top to Antonio Brown, he actually breaks open too. Okay, this safety that stays, he normally should drift back up here. Not up there, up here. This is where he should be drifting. But because they decided to bring an extra rusher, because they decided to send this... Oh my god, I hate this camera. Because they decided to send this linebacker rushing, okay, because they did that, they had to drop this safety down, and because of that, they decided to have this safety... Hold on, I'll get it. Drift into the middle of the field. So basically what they did is opened up our entire play for us. We'll start by looking at Brown, the guy who the ball didn't go to, right? Breaks wide open, okay? And the reason this play works so well, it doesn't work as well in a zone, which is again why if the safety had dropped, he would not be open. The safety would be over top here. But these cornerbacks, they don't know where the receiver's going. For all they know, he's about to keep running straight down the field, cut to the left. So as long as you can hit him at the top of their route, which is right there, that's the top of his route. If you can throw that right there, this corner up there, he's not going to know when to react. And just like that, Brown's going to break open. The ball's going to be getting delivered, right? But the reason I didn't look for Brown or go to Brown is because I saw that safety drop. That was my first read, right? Well, again, ignoring the pressure. We've already talked about that. The true first read, we've already talked about it, this part of the field, right? No pressure comes in. So my next read is watching those safeties. I want to make sure both of them are going to drop out so that I know that Smith-Schuster, my slot receiver, is probably going to be open. Okay, but, and you got to watch the linebackers too. So my first read goes to linebackers and all that, but I'm watching that safety. First thing I see that safety drop, I know 100% I've got man coverage, one-on-one coverage coming to this receiver. Okay, no linebacker drops out to go with him. If they had left an extra linebacker, they could have dropped one into a zone, but they decided to rush. So I know I've got man coverage right away, which we just talked about with Antonio Brown right there. The corner's not going to be able to, 9 times out of 10, unless that's a top 5 corner in the league that you're throwing against, that guy's breaking open. Okay, so the key here is just to make sure you don't get sacked. First thing I see that safety drop, I am now automatically looking at this read. That's who I'm staring down, and you can see I kind of fuck up here. I'm reading him a little too much, and I start drifting his way. What I probably should have been doing there is trying to step up in the pocket here. Oh my goodness. probably step up in the pocket there and then slide to the left. You know, it was an awkward drop. I see him about to break open, just kind of lazily drift over there and almost get sacked for it. And that's why I had to put the throw on a little bit early. Okay, I would like to be making the throw right there. That's when I would like to be starting to make the throw, so that when he breaks there, the ball is still very much so in the air. It's probably only halfway to him, so that I can keep him in stride and probably get past that corner. And not, you know, here the corner's able to track him pretty quick. If that ball is thrown right there, when he breaks here, it's probably only halfway in the air. He's another 5, maybe 7 yards down the field before he catches it, and it's a much bigger play. Probably gets around that corner, right? And that's just because I got a little sloppy and drifted. Oh, Jesus, I hate this camera. I don't know why I can't figure it out. I just can't. Okay, but that's just because I got a little lazy right there. You see that drift, these couple steps back? Right there, I should have been stepping into the pocket. This is a perfect time to step up into the pocket. I just really saw that safety drop, and, you know, at this point I had stopped looking at the pocket. You always got to keep an eye on it to watch those tackles and see, you know, if they're going to drift out, to see if you're about to get sacked. But, you know, just lost sight of it a little bit, but it's not catastrophic. We're still able to get the play done. But it's all because of that safety drop. First thing that safety drops, you know you've got one-on-one. And if I had more time, if I had stepped up in the pocket, or if these tackles don't get pushed back, let's say the tackles hold like right there, right? Let's say that, you know, that tackle holds his block there. This tackle holds his block there. Okay. If they hold their blocks there, I can take 2 steps back just like that and settle right there. And if I don't have pressure, because I saw these tackles kind of closing in on me a little bit, you know, like I said, I didn't fully pay attention. That's why I just kind of lazily drifted into him. But because I did see the tackles crashing in a little bit, and because of that, you know, I knew, okay, you know, this safety dropped. Right, that safety drops. So I knew right away that's where I was going, and so that's what leads to the quick throw. But let's say I've got time and both those tackles hold right there. I can take 2 steps back and just evaluate the defense. And what I would have evaluated at that point is this safety drifting into the middle of the field instead of going to help his corner up top over here. So if those tackles hold, and again, hypothetical, but if the tackles hold and I have more time, I'm probably going to Antonio Brown on this play. But, I mean, really, either guy's open. Brown's just more open. You see what I mean? But we'll take a look at it one more time from the top here. We'll just kind of go at full speed. It's that lazy drift right there that really almost ruined the play. But, yep, for the most part, it's okay. We're in a standard cover 2. Know where the weaknesses are. No pressure. Safety drops. And put the throw onto the guy. I'm going to add in one more play here. I didn't have a chance to break it down because the instant replay fucked up. But essentially, it's another play against a cover 2. And you don't have a safety dropping this time. They both go into coverage. So basically, it's just working the middle of the field, working the weakness of the defense. And I wanted to throw it in there even though I wasn't able to break it down. One thing I didn't really expand on as much, but should be talked about a little bit, is just look for your one-on-one matchups. We talked about on that last play when you see the safety drop and you know you've got a one-on-one. One-on-ones usually go to the receiver if you know for sure you've got it. So always look for that and manipulate them and use them to your advantage. And also understand your team. Some receivers, if you have a one-on-one, you can send them running straight down the field, lob up a throw for them, and they can jump up and go get it most of the time, where some receivers aren't going to do that. They succeed more on just cuts and different type of routes. So understand your team is also key, and you can then read the defense and understand your matchups and understand where your one-on-ones are, and audible your guys into better routes so that you can capitalize further off specific one-on-one matchups.